Hi, my name is Joey Criscolo here at VIP Mortgage, and I am here with Kevin Hildner. And if you are in the hospitality industry and always wondered what it's like to buy a home, please watch this video. By the end of it, you will have all the tools you need in order to help you jump into home ownership. Kevin, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good, good. So just wanted to touch base a little bit about our background. I feel like we both transitioned from the hospitality industry and stuff. How long were you doing hospitality, and then what got you into real estate?
So I moved to Las Vegas back in about 2004, and pretty much from the moment I got here, you know how it goes. Hospitality is the town, you know.
Yeah.
So I had no previous background, jumped into it, started out at a local restaurant. Very quickly worked my way up into nightlife, and when I got tired of spending my days off recuperating and resting, I went into the fine dining aspects of it, right? And really enjoyed that. Spent a lot of years doing that, and finally transitioned into management as well. So, it's one of those things that I found it extremely fulfilling to be able to have a role in something that, you're providing an experience,
right?
You're providing a memory, you're providing, just lifelong connections with people day in and day out. And it's a lot of fun.
Right. Absolutely. I was doing food and beverage for about 13 years as well. And the conversations like this, the day-to-day grind can be a little mundane sometimes, but just to see every walk of life and how people got to where they are, we're a melting pot here. And that's really what has, I'm born and raised in Vegas. So I grew up around the hospitality. I grew up around people and stuff. And I just feel like it really takes a certain person to do it, but it can be very rewarding too, if that makes sense. What do you think is one area, I guess, from the hospitality background that you think you can really take into helping somebody into home ownership, or like, what's one thing that you stand on for your values and how you help people?
Well, first off, I take a lot of consideration into who I am as a person, right? I mean, it matters who you are day in and day out.
Of course.
It's not a role where you're trying to sell somebody on something. You're trying to create, once again, a lifelong experience. This is a big purchase, right?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Huge. So, that attention to detail, that being able to be proactive versus reactive, attention to guest needs, things like that. We all know that that's paramount,
of course,
to the experience, right?
And the anticipation. I think what I take from it, I'm sure you can say the same thing, is just knowing what the client want before they even know they need it.
Yep.
And it's that wow factor of like, I didn't even think I needed that, but now that I have it, it's like, man, what a great experience that we've created for them. Right.
And then feeling that inside.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah, exactly. And two, it's like, not everybody, they can take an experience from them, but then when they go and tell their friends, it just makes you feel good. And again, it's all about helping people. It's not
Always.
about them, or it's not about us for that matter. It's taking our eyes off ourselves and seeing how we can be beneficial for them. So
yeah, I agree 100%.
What do you think led to the transition, and why did you want to jump out of the food and beverage industry? I can just be flowed myself. I had a son, and I was sick of getting home at 1 a.m. and it was tough. My wife, she's a nurse, but she was waking up at 5:30. So it was like the whole transition was tough, but I wanted to find something that I could take with people, or I could take in my past life and still help them. So that's why I did it. But it's more, why'd you get into it, I guess, for that matter?
So the client service, the servantness, if that's even a word, of food and beverage and just customer service and things like that. That's something that's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
I think that this industry and food and beverage are very similar in a lot of aspects, and it's an easy transition to go from one to the other if you have the skill set that you need to be successful.
Right.
For me, similar to you, I had a son, and now a daughter, and I just found that we were, our schedules were opposite each other.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I've always been interested in this this world. I have a lot of friends and family that are in this world. And, it's at the end of the day, we only have so much time here, right? And it's about making lasting impressions, helping people, helping them in their lives.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, having enough time to do the things, take care of you and do the things that you want to do as well, and have that time with your family.
Yeah, that's important. I found that, the work-family life balance it was still always being available, because we're always available on our phones, but at the same time, I don't have to be in an office all the time.
Right.
And I found that so beneficial. I could take my kid to practice, this and that, but it's one thing that led to another, but still, I feel like, and I'm sure you could say the same for yourself, we never really lost who we are.
No.
From the hospitality to here, it just was a smooth transition for that matter. So I feel like it's important, and to always stay true to who you are.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You can make a difference every day.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, how would you say, I think we touched a little bit on it, but how would you leverage what you took there and to reach, those people for that matter who are watching this, who are bartenders, cocktail waitresses in the nightlife industry, to help them buy a home and to be a home buyer?
Well, like I said, in the past, having the roles in food and beverage,
Right.
I have purchased 2 houses,
Yeah.
and knowing what it took, the first house I bought, I was basically tip,
Yeah.
a lot of the money I was receiving was going to be off tips. So there was challenges and pitfalls along the way with that. That was several years ago. I think it's a little bit easier now.
Yeah, slightly.
Slightly.
Yeah.
And then the most recent one, was a steady income.
Right.
So I understand both aspects of it. I understand through experience and of course through training and all that also that, what you need to close on the deal, what you need to bring to the table, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help. I mean, maybe you can touch on a little bit too, as far as the mortgage side of it.
Yeah. So, it's tough. The misconception can sometimes be, I'm a cash, in the cash industry, I get tips all the time. My tips aren't on my paycheck. Obviously tip compliance is a big thing that a lot of restaurants are moving towards for that matter. But still sometimes tip compliance isn't really the full amount of what they're making, right?
Never.
Yeah, exactly. So we do have bank statement programs. As long as people are steadily depositing a certain amount each week, each month for that matter, and I could prove that, we can use a bank statement program from the cash they're depositing, along with using their hourly and tip compliance. So it's really just trying to get creative for that matter. I mean, again, a lot of the bartenders out here sometimes only work 5-6 hours a shift. So they're not technically full time,
Right.
but they at least have the base of hourly plus the tips. So, and I feel like that is a staple of Vegas. You've been out here 20 years. I'm born and raised here, and it's just people in our industry. I feel like sometimes would rather rent. Sometimes it's just easier, but then at the same time, if they would just see the advantage of buying a home to build the equity,
The pride of ownership.
Exactly. Yeah. And you just catapult yourself to the next home, something like that. So it's not just like you're staying stagnant, it's building the equity, right? Mm-hmm. So nice. That's good. And again, I want, for everyone out there too, for the misconception, you don't know what you don't know until you come and talk to one of us. We'd love to just help you out in any way of just seeing if it's possible, right?
Right.
Because if there's, if your W-2 is low, but there's a way to make it work, it's worth the conversation. So that's important, I think.
There's a possibility we can make it happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, but yeah, so what do you think, I guess, like long-term effects, and what do you think, or you want people to know in the hospitality industry, and how you could, be the bridge from them to homeownership?
Definitely, coming from the background, having the understanding to what you were just, to your point, exactly what you were just speaking about as far as how tip compliance shows up on your paychecks and being able to use pay stubs and bank statements and things like that. I don't believe that was an option many years ago, and I won't say when I bought my first house. So, because I think we tried all of that and it still didn't work. So
it led to something else, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
But bridging the gap is is our job, and knowing what they don't know, and being able to come in and provide that expertise on, well, why don't we try this?
Right.
Do you have perhaps that? Is there money somewhere that we can leverage? Is there family members? What does your spouse do? Are they tipped?
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of different ways to be able to have everything line up.
Right. No, that's good. And I think for the fact of, what am I trying to say? For people, like I was talking to somebody the other day who was working in the hotels, and they had just started there even for a year. But I told them, let's see what we can do, and let's try to help you out. But if it's not now, it could be in 6 months down the road, right?
Right.
And so it's not like we're just here for a one-stop shop. We want to walk through that journey with them, because I think, I'm sure you can attest to this too. It's how many repeat clients did you have in the restaurant industry where they want to come and see you? It's not, they're not coming for the hotel, but they're coming to see you. My dad, I think I told you this joke too. He always says the only thing that changes in the casino is the color of the carpet.
Yep. 100%.
Every single place has the table games, has the restaurants, but what are you creating and how are you reaching those people? And I think that's important, but it's just the referral aspect, right?
Yeah.
And the repeat clients for that matter.
Absolutely. I think when you don't live in Las Vegas, you don't realize how much repeat clientele there is down there on the Strip. You think it's all just this transient in and out, and building those relationships with those people. It's one of the best parts,
of course,
and it's one of the best parts of this as well. Is building those relationships, because I'm a firm believer that if today's not the day, it might be tomorrow, it might be next week, but I'm going to be there to help you along the way. Yeah. Joey's going to be there to help you along the way.
Absolutely.
And it's not, like I said, and like he said as well, it's not, if it's not today, if it's not tomorrow, it might be next week, but it's going to happen at some point. And, our goal is to ensure that we help you get to where you want to be.
Yeah. I want to touch a little something. I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously, we have a lot of similar backgrounds. We were talking, last week and stuff, but like even you being out of the industry now, and I imagine you're still getting phone calls from clients, right? Who want some type of service, for that matter. I thought that was so cool. If you want to touch on that a little bit, because it's so important to, it's who you are and what you built, for that matter.
Yeah. I mean, I try to, life is daily experiences, daily interactions. And I always try to build a rapport with people to where, maybe life got in the way and we haven't talked in 6 months, but we can pick up the phone, we can run into each other, and it's like time didn't pass at all. Right. That does still happen to me, with the restaurant business, the restaurant, in particular that you're referring to. I haven't worked there in 4 years.
Wow.
And,
I know it's 4 years.
And COVID happened in between and all of that too. So it's, and I never say no.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, I'm here to serve, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
And, same thing with real estate, hopefully that's the reaction I get as well, is that, hey, you know what? Kevin not only helped me, Kevin not only put me with Joey, who helped me,
of course,
but Kevin's also, a friend, and he cares. Absolutely.
Because it's not about just, here are your keys and be done. No, it's a big getting to know their family. And like you said, it's just picking up right where you left off. So I think that's so important. So yeah, I think that's good, man. I'm excited. I think, for again, anyone who is interested, please give us a call. We'd love to help you out in any way that we can. Our backgrounds, as you have heard and listened, are pretty extensive. So we know your circumstances and what they're going through, right? For that matter, it's just about trying to help them meet them where they're at. So
yeah, and don't underestimate how much it matters knowing.
Yeah.
I mean, having that past experience, it's not just okay, I understand this situation. It's no, I've felt that situation.
Right.
I've been there.
Yeah. It's like, how do we be creative? You lived, you've bought in a few homes and you had that experience where it wasn't, but just getting creative. And that's where I think, it's someone who you want to rely on, who knows the shoes you've walked in, for that matter. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks, guys. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate. Kevin's here as myself as well. We'd love to help you out any way we can. Thank you.